Hello. This message, so first of all, forgive me if this transmission is messy. This message has actually been coming through for years now. And it's been shared and communicated with clients who work with me privately or inside sacred circles. And those who are really ready to hear it find their way. But today, I had a really strong urge that it was time for me to share this more openly and publicly, but also inside a private group, so that more of those who are ready to receive this, the more of those who are ready to rewrite their reality, to embody their power, and remember who they truly are, can find it. And it comes at a very interesting time. Currently, we've spent a couple of years in a global pandemic and lockdown. And now what we're starting to witness is a potential war with Ukraine and Russia. What I'm about to share with you may be a little controversial in a sense of this is not the message that is in the mainstream, not even in the mainstream of other leaders and the spiritual community and some other Wayshowers. And I'm just going to say what I'm going to say, and then I'll share the backup as to how this stands or where this is coming from. The war that we are witnessing with Russia and Ukraine is a reflection of our own internal wars with ourselves. Our lives, our world, our reality that we experience, that we perceive, that we witness, that we see with our eyes, that we hear with our ears, is a reflection of what's happening within ourselves. And how can we change the reality? As we go inside. We work on our own mind, our own consciousness. We work on the internal wars that we have. We take radical responsibility for our mindset, our choices, where our focus, where our attention and energy is going. There is a massive collective awakening that has been happening since 2020. Everything that happened in 2020 has been like a reset button on the collective consciousness. Well, it has felt really real, and everything that is happening feels really real, and things that are happening are really real. I want you to understand that we have the capacity to change our experiences and rewrite our reality. Not everybody's ready to hear this message. And I want to share with you why I'm qualified to share this with you, why I feel so passionately about this, why I know this to be uniquely true. You know, for the past few years now, I've watched leaders in these communities of spirituality and conscious creation and, you know, these new thought leaders communicating from spaces of fear, what we needed to be afraid of, what we needed to make sure that we did so that we were safe. Make sure that, you know, we knew who our enemy was so that we could be prepared to fight. You know, the projections, the judgments, the making wrong. It was all actually telling a story about who they are. It was also feeding this energy of fear, this energy of this, how do I want to say? It's like we get to these places in our lives where we have to really choose what it is that we really want. And life will reflect back to us what is not in alignment with that, what is not in alignment with who we truly are. We are going through this massive awakening and remembering of who we are inside this physical body. We are so much more than a human. We are consciousness embodied. We are energy in motion. We are a soul having a life experience. And everything that we're seeing outside in our world is a reflection of what's going on inside, what we came into this life with to resolve, clear up, grow from, expand from. And right now, I encourage you to be aware of where your energy, attention is going towards. Where are your thoughts going towards? What are you feeding? What are you judging as wrong? What is triggering you emotionally? What is, happening in your life that is stirring up things within you and creating chaos? You know, a big drive for me to do this transmission today. And if I pause, I'm just working with the energy that's moving through. And I encourage you to take a breath and tap into the energy that's coming through. My first language is energy, and I communicate with words, but it's this translation of consciousness and energy that comes through the words, but I'm also bringing through energy. This energy that is supporting each and every one of us that is on this journey of remembering and awakening, to support us in clearing the densities, to support us in releasing the programs that have us forgetting who we really are, that have us distracted, that get us caught up in the fears. You know, everything that we're seeing on the news and even social media can be a distraction. It can be this energy that feeds more fear. It is very, very addicting. And I think that's why I've held back my message for so long, except within those that have come to me into tight, close circles or worked one-on-one with me, because not everybody's ready to really own this power and truly remember who you really are in order to create and live the life that you're here to experience and express. And it's not all about attaining things or getting to certain levels or any of that. It's so much more about what you're here as a soul in this experience to be. And so I encourage you, as we start to see this collective chaos happening, because I will promise you right now, there are people in this world not seeing any of that. There are people living in this world completely unaware of some of the stuff that's happened in the last couple of years and what is this war that we're seeing right now. This war that we're seeing now is just this larger, louder reflection to say there's a war inside of you that needs to be resolved. And so pay attention to the ways that you are diverting your attention. Where are you giving your energy and attention to? Are you eating up all of the news? Are you getting entangled into the social media posts? Notice what's going on in your body. Like, are you feeling, the tension, the tightness, the stress? Are you feeling discomfort? Is fear coming up? Are emotional triggers coming up? These emotional triggers that are coming up are pointing you back to some density that needs to be cleared within you. 2 years ago, when this collective lockdown happened, I knew exactly what was happening. There's a video on my YouTube channel that I spoke about this at the beginning, that everything that was being reflected back was pointing us to go within. We are the Wayshowers. We are the leaders. We are the sensitive, the empaths, those here to create a ripple effect of change in the world. And it starts within us. And it starts within us in clearing and alchemizing our own internal densities, internal, programs and conditions. And what happens is, as we do the work, we'll see the world change. Our experiences change. Our realities will change. So 2 years ago, when we were being forced to, wear masks and keep 6 feet distance and stay home and all of the things, personally knowing what was really going on for a collective awakening and for my own internal healing, I didn't wear a mask. The only times that I ever wore a mask was when I had a dental emergency, and the only way to see the dentist, or I had a physical emergency. I had quite a few emergencies. And if you are going through, let me just pause and back up here for a second. Another reason why this came through so strongly today is because I am seeing so many of the light workers, the Wayshowers, the leaders, the sensitives, the empaths, the healers, the artists here to have the ripple effect of change in the world, that there is so much chaos going on in your health, in your business, in your relationships. I'm seeing, and actually clients that I worked with personally, they've been going through this. They've already on the trajectory of moving through their internal chaos, their businesses ending, their relationships ending, stuff happening with their health, but coming from a perspective of personal empowerment and rewriting their reality by doing the internal work. And so now, as it's gotten louder and louder, I'm seeing people in my community and surrounding it that are incredibly talented, who are phenomenal beings here to have an impact of change. I see the chaos happening in their life. I see the health. I see the mental discord happening. I see the distractions. I see the getting caught up in the fear. I see, the health. Like life is really pushing. So it's like if you haven't been doing the work, it gets louder, right? If you don't listen to that inner guidance, if you don't pause and do the work that is necessary inside, life gets louder. It gets more chaotic. It gets more uncomfortable until you make the choice to truly step into your power, embody it, listen to that voice that's connected to your higher self, that's connected to your soul, that's co-creating with the universe to support you in your experience here, in your role of creating a shift. It's going to be louder until you do the thing, until you get courageous and brave and put the stories behind. Clear up the trauma, clear up the pain, release the betrayal, release the stories of unworthiness, not enough, not important, I can't do it, I'll fail, it's too much. And also being aware of the stories that you get caught up in the spiritual world. There's a lot of corruption in the spiritual world as well. And like I said before, I mean, a lot of the spiritual leaders were, sharing those messages. And I know that this one may not be easily grasped because the part of our system has been corrupted by other energies that do not want us to remember who we are, don't want us to wake up, don't want us to be our most creative, expansive selves, that want us to stay under control. And so if you're having chaos in your life, like understand that there's something more that's meant to come through you, and you've got to get out of the way and let it come through you. Okay? Stacy, yes, I feel that. I'm looking at things from a new perspective. I'd love to hear more. What perspective? Please share. And yeah, I'm glad you're here. And so 2 years ago when this started and they want us to put masks on our face, I refused. I knew that this was actually internal trauma that I needed to heal. That my mouth, my voice was trying to be covered. And I did a lot of internal work around the trauma. And I never wore a mask. And I would go into stores and I would have these experiences. I would have different experiences, and everything that I experienced, I would take as a reflection of what I needed to come back and do within myself. And the trauma work that I do, the healing work that I do on not only the 3D level, but the multiple dimensional levels, has really been supportive in helping me heal the decade plus of trauma, decades of trauma that I experienced. And so I would go into the store and I would get either like spoken to by a store employee, or I'd get looks from other customers, or I've had customers, like I've had men walk by me and just berate me. Or actually now that I'm saying this out loud, it was men mostly. I maybe had one woman speak to me about not wearing a mask. And so, because I believe in the real science, not this science that they're touting out there. So it's just interesting because a majority of the trauma I experienced was from men. And it would happen, and I would be aware of the emotional trigger or the belief that would come up or the fear that would come up or the story or the narrative that would come up. And then I would come back home and I would do the internal work. And as I did the internal work, I would start to go back out into public, and I would, be in the stores, and my reality would shift. I remember this one time that I went into the store after doing some really deep work, and I had men now coming up to me, pulling their masks down, having conversations with me, talking to me about the foods, getting close to me. I mean, there was no 6 feet anymore, and they were pulling their masks down to communicate with me. And stores stopped harassing me. I started to see more and more people not wearing masks. I've met some friends that I still have to this day who would be walking around the store, no mask, and we would just connect and talk and connect. I mean, that's just a small example of how I used what was experienced in life that we collectively have experienced as a way to shift and heal internally and create a new reality for myself. I just giggled because my legs are literally shaking with the amount of energy that's running through my body right now. Yeah, and I share that. I'm like, okay, what I don't always share that when I'm doing transmissions, but I share that because of the sensitives, the empaths, the healers, that I want you to know that you can hold it all. You can hold the discomfort. You can hold the massive amounts of energy and frequency moving through your body and still do the thing, still show up, still share your message, still do your work that you're here to do. Too many are coming up against this discomfort and stopping. And now it's time to break through. It's time to hold it all and move through. And so my qualifications to share this message with you today is because a good majority of my life, I was at war. I was fighting a fight that many people didn't know about, and many people still don't know about. And it put me in a place of survival. And in that place of survival that I continued to live my life from, I attracted more and more experiences that I needed to survive from, that I needed to fight for. And I made some really challenging, uncomfortable, brave, courageous decisions in my life that took me out of my own comfort zone. But I always had my back, and I'll say I always had my back when I got onto this path. I made courageous and brave choices to put me on this path. The courageous, brave choices that I made were to end attachments that I had to safety. Safety in a relationship, safety in a corporate career, safety in a house. I'm not saying that anybody needs to be homeless, but there was an attachment to this house that has a lot of stories around it. And I left all of those things, and it put me on this path of this journey that I'm on right now: energy medicine, consciousness, healing, evolving my soul on this journey and supporting others who are here to do the same. And so, as I brought myself onto this path, it's taken a lot of, I've taken radical responsibility for my life. And any time that I still find myself maybe pointing at my past and blaming another for what I may still struggle with today, that's my indicator that I am giving my power to something outside of me that I need to take internal responsibility for and to shift, adjust, heal, and transmute energies and frequencies and consciousness. So just like a radio dial, just like, we tune the station from, say, soft rock, and we want to go to pop. In between there's chaos, there's static, right? And so that's what's happening now in this evolution. We'll go through, and there will be some static, and we'll fine tune, and we get, we have the clearer frequency. And then, so right now there is some static that a lot of us are seeing, and that is an indicator for us to really take radical responsibility of how am I feeling? What am I projecting? What are the stories going in my mind? What am I noticing? What can I take responsibility for? What is it that I can do for myself? It's interesting because in the past couple of years, I've had the two emergencies, I had a teeth emergency that I needed to wear a mask for, and I had to go to urgent care for another issue that I had with my jaw. So this message has really wanted to come out for a while in a more public way, and my body was responding in those ways of releasing densities, but it manifesting. So take a look at what is manifesting, materializing, and reflecting back in your life, your health, your body, right? What is the perception that you're seeing out in the world? So if you think about your body is a movie projector, and what comes through the movie that you see is a reflection of your internal consciousness, your internal beliefs, understand that you have the opportunity to go in and change the movie. It takes radical responsibility, it takes courage, and it takes bravery to make the choices, make the changes, to do the healing work. I would not be, whoops, my alarm just went off because I have another appointment. I would not be here today if I didn't have the courage, if I didn't let go of the attachments, if I didn't have the bravery, if I didn't have the support. And because this all came through so quickly, I may follow up with a group workshop or something to support those of you that really resonate with this message, to come in and do some energy work with me inside a group space. I'll post it in here below this video when it comes through. I don't know when I'll have the time to put everything together, but if you're interested, just post, just post, empowered or yes, please, or me or anything below, and I'll make sure that you get the message. And, but I wouldn't be here today if I didn't have the support that I had. I wouldn't be here today if I was too afraid to ask for support or think that I couldn't do the thing or let money decide for me. There were times in my life that I actually sold my own belongings in order to pay for healing, to pay for healing sessions, to pay for, the support that I needed in order to continue. Because I'll tell you right now, my life could have went in a completely different trajectory. The fact that I'm alive today is quite incredible. And I know very strongly that we are at a point in time right now because it's gotten very, very, very loud. And I'm watching so many of you suffer and be challenged. And I want you to know like how powerful you are. And it's okay that it's messy. And it's okay that it's uncomfortable. And you can still keep moving forward. And you could still keep doing the thing. If you know that there is something different that needs to be done in your life to shift your reality, go inside. If you need some help, reach out. Come to this group session with me. And if you have any questions, you can message me. Just take a deep breath with me and put your hands on your heart. Our bodies are going through so much right now. And, the reason I do the work that I do with energy medicine and healing and these cleanses is that, our body keeps the score. Our body is the book to our consciousness, our energy, where we are aligned. And we're meant to be a clear, clean vessel and channel in order to, be the Wayshowers, the light bringers, the leaders of this shift in consciousness. And I so honor each and every one of you. That are on this journey, because it is really, really, really courageous and brave. And, my personal clients, my private clients, those of you that come inside sacred circles with me, you know the magic that we make. You know how powerful you are. And now we're just being called to step up to this next level. And okay, so hand on your heart, just take a couple of breaths with me. The reason I veered off a little bit is that when we actually put our hands on our heart, put our hands on our body, even when we hold ourselves, hug ourselves, squeeze our arms, we bring ourselves from our mind and into our bodies. We tell our heart we're safe. We tell those inner parts of us that are coming up, afraid, we're not safe, trying to protect ourselves. We tell us we're okay. We are okay. I am okay. This is big stuff that we're working here. The energies that are moving through us that are necessary to create a collective change and healing are powerful and strong and can blow circuits if you don't know how to work with the energy. And that's what happens, is that people's circuits blow, and that's when aches or illnesses or the CV slows people down and puts them in bed for 2 weeks, because the body needs to adjust to be able to transmute some of these frequencies. Okay, I'm going to take a look at your messages here, and then I do need to go because I do have another appointment. Maria says, Kelly, words cannot express how grateful I am. For doing this live today. I'm on such a deep level. Thank you. I don't know if you were here at the beginning, but I just spoke about how this message has been coming through me for quite some time now, and only shared in small groups or with my one-on-one clients, because it is so opposite of what a lot of the really, popular spiritual leaders have been speaking about for the last couple of years. So Maria, thank you for being with me. Thank you. Thank you for doing you and embodying this message, because in that we are the ripple effect. Teeth came up for you too. Today your stepdad called and demanded I get my teeth cleaned. What does that say about your dad demanding it? Or your stepdad. I have not been to a dentist in a long time and I'm terrified of it. Okay. That's interesting. So I'm wondering if you're resonating with the message about what's actually behind the teeth, what's actually behind, you know, from a metaphysical point of view. You know, like, is there a message that you're afraid to communicate? Is there you know, something that's meant to come through you that you've been afraid to communicate? I tell you, when I had one of the emergencies that I had to go to urgent care, my face was literally out to here. I called around town. No one is taking new patients. Are you in Connecticut? I'm not sure. I can't see your little picture, so I'm not sure if we've met in person yet. All right, Maria, I will make sure that you get the message and be a part of this circle. All right, I do have to go. Yeah, miracles. Yeah, we are here to create a miracle in our own lives and shift the world. We're really being called to get out of our own way and clear this internal density and rewrite our realities. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your courage and your bravery and for listening to this message if you got this far, and for your forgiveness if any of this was messy or all over the place. But thank you for receiving this transmission, and thank you. Thank you for being a part of my world. I love you.